Something bad happens to you, what society tells you is, hey, that's trauma, hey, it's bad, hey, you should feel terrible. If you take that bad thing, then you look at it in the different light.
How to stop wasting time and start winning. Let me start with a hard truth that hit me like a brick one day. Time doesn't stop for anyone. It doesn't slow down when you're unmotivated. It doesn't pause while you scroll on your phone. It doesn't wait for you to feel ready. Every second you waste is gone forever. I learned that the painful way. I used to waste so much time without even realizing it. I told myself little lies like, I'll start tomorrow, or I deserve a break right now.
Well, oftentimes business education today, and I see it all the time, kids come out of college, the best colleges, Wharton and Harvard and Stanford and some of the great business schools, and they'll come out and they won't have practical.
I'll do it later. But later rarely came. And one day I looked up and realized months had passed and I was still stuck in the same place. That realization scared me. Not because I had wasted time already, but because I could see where my life was heading if I didn't change. I wasn't losing hours. I was losing years. And that's when I made a decision. I wasn't going to let time slip through my fingers anymore. I was going to stop wasting it and start winning with it.
And you forgive that person and you understand why that person did it, the good came from it, all of a sudden, it's not such a bad thing anymore.
This is the story of how I changed, the lessons I learned, and how you can too. The wake-up call. My wake-up call wasn't glamorous. It wasn't a TED Talk or a motivational book. It was a moment of raw honesty with myself. I was lying in bed one night, scrolling endlessly through my phone, when I suddenly realized I couldn't remember a single meaningful thing I had done that day.
We ask kids that are 16 to 18 years old to make $100,000 debt decisions when they go off to university. And they're not...
I had been busy, yes, but not productive. I had spent hours on things that didn't move me closer to my goals. And for the first time, that thought hit me hard. If every day is like this, where will I be in 5 years? Not where I wanted to be, that's for sure. That night, I asked myself the question that changed everything.
Prepared for that. They don't know what they're getting themselves into. They just assume, okay, I'm going to 4 years of education at $25,000 a pop, and when I come out the other side, somehow I'll be able to...
Fuel to get you moving. If you don't know where you're going, your targets are, you're never going to get there.
That it doesn't matter how old you are,
What would happen if I stopped wasting time? Why we waste time could fix it. I had to understand it. Why do we waste so much time when deep down we know we shouldn't? I realized for me, and for most people, it comes down to 3 things. 1. Comfort. It's easier to scroll, binge, or procrastinate than to do hard things. Discomfort is where growth lives, but it's also where fear lives, and most of us avoid it.
If somebody graduated from a great university, that may be an indication that they will be full of great things, but it's not necessarily the case. If you look at...
2. Lack of clarity. When you don't know what you're working toward, every distraction looks appealing. Without a clear goal, everything feels like it matters equally. 3. The lie of later. We convince ourselves that later we'll be more motivated, more ready, more capable.
All these hobbies and code a lot of stuff and try a lot of different things. It's this amazing flexibility that I think most people take for granted. Once you decide, okay, I'm going to start a company and I'm going to do it.
But later is just a trap. Later often means never. Once I understood these traps, I could finally start breaking free from them. The first step, owning my time. The first thing I did was brutally simple. I tracked my time, every hour of the day. And what I found shocked me. I thought I was busy all the time, but in reality, I was wasting at least 4 to 5 hours every single day. That's over 1,500 hours a year. That's enough time to write a book.
Up and up like that. And the president of Harvard or Stanford, if you wanted to get a mob of students, alumni, faculty to come after you, try to lynch you, what you should say is something like this. We live in this much larger...
Learn a skill, build a business, or get in the best shape of your life. The problem wasn't that I didn't have time. The problem was that I wasn't owning it. So I made a rule. If I don't control my time, it will control me. I started scheduling my days, not perfectly, but intentionally. I gave my time a job instead of letting it slip away. And slowly, I started to win back control. Nutpries. The power of small wins.
Everything changed for me when I realized we're not meant to feel excited and perfect all the time. I started accepting that where I am right now is...
Here's the truth. You don't stop wasting time by flipping a switch. You stop by collecting small wins. At first, my wins were tiny. Reading for 10 minutes instead of scrolling, going for a walk instead of another episode, writing down my goals instead of just thinking about them. But those small wins mattered. Every time I chose action over distraction, I felt stronger. My confidence grew. My self-respect grew. And before I knew it, those small wins stacked up into real progress.
And some people, like I've got a great conceptual memory and a terrible rote memory. So if I have a story, I could tell you year by year kind of what happened.
The best part? Small wins create momentum. And momentum is addictive. Once you start winning, you want to keep winning. Building habits that stick. Stopping time. Wasting isn't just about willpower, it's about habits. And the key to building habits is making them part of your identity. For example, instead of saying, I need to work out, I started saying, I'm the kind of person who works out. Instead of,
the people who are doing the work they care about are figuring out what to do next, not following the person who told them what to do next. And the problem with most...
I should read more. I told myself, I'm the kind of person who grows through reading. Identity drives behavior. When you see yourself differently, you act differently. So I began shaping habits around who I wanted to be, not just what I wanted to do. The hardest part, facing myself. The toughest part of this journey wasn't the early mornings or the discipline, it was facing myself.
Colleges is they are high school but with more binge drinking. The entire purpose of a good university is to give you a foundation to fail.
I had to admit that wasting time wasn't just about laziness, it was about fear. Fear of failure. Fear of not being good enough. Fear of starting and not finishing. Every wasted hour was me hiding from that fear, but the moment I admitted it, I took away its power. Because fear doesn't disappear. You just stop letting it run your life. That was when I finally understood. Time wasting is a symptom. The root cause is fear.
You know, it's an extremely corrupt system we have at this point. We have an education bubble. In the US, we have $1 trillion of student debt. To first approximation, this has gone...
Ulrich. First, lessons I learned along the way. Here are the biggest lessons I've learned about time and winning. Comfort is the enemy of progress. If you feel comfortable, you're probably not growing. Motivation fades, but discipline stays. Don't wait to feel like it. Show up anyway. Your habits shape your identity. Every action is a vote for the person you're becoming.
This is the easy part. Behind the scenes is where the work is done.
Tiny steps matter more than perfect plans. One page, one workout, one decision. That's how you build momentum. One decision can change your entire life. It might sound cliche, but I lived it. How you can start winning.
Something bad happens to you, what society tells you is, hey, that's trauma, hey, it's bad, hey, you should feel terrible. If you take that bad thing, and then you look at it in the different light.
I mean, if somebody graduated from a great university, that may be an indication that they will be full of great things, but it's not necessarily the case. You know, if you look at...
Target is, don't guess it. Be as clued up as the next man, because that's petrol. That's your...
Today. So how do you stop wasting time and start winning? Let me make it simple. 1. Get clear on your goals. Write them down. Be honest about what you actually want, not what sounds good. 2. Audit your time. Track where your hours go. The truth will shock you. 3. Replace. Don't just remove. Don't just stop scrolling. Replace it with reading. Don't just stop procrastinating. Replace it with action. 4. Start small. Don't try to change everything overnight. Win the next hour, then the next. 5.
Aren't genuinely meant to be. Lean into them. Bads are also part of a very good and meaningful life. So on my toughest days, I think about getting through.
Respect yourself. Keep the promises you make to yourself. That's how confidence is built. Ladia, the transformation. Looking back, my transformation wasn't about suddenly becoming disciplined or motivated. It was about respect, self-respect. When I stopped wasting time, I stopped betraying myself. And that one shift changed everything.
Everything changed for me when I realized we're not meant to feel excited and perfect all the time. I started accepting that where I am right now is...
I started to feel proud of myself again. I started to believe I was capable of more. And once you believe that, nothing can stop you. I'm not saying it's easy, but I am saying it's worth it. Because winning with your time means winning with your life. Subtories. The truth about time. Here's the truth most people don't want to face. Time will pass anyway.
The competition is not the reality?
Listen, the work is behind the scenes.
Whether you use it or waste it, the days will go by. The question is, what will you have to show for it? 5 years from now, you'll either look back proud of how you used your time or regretful that you let it slip away. That choice is being made every single day.
Blessed. And here I am the CEO of my own company.
In whatever you do, please understand your terrain. No.
Now, see, one final thought. When I look back, I realize my story wasn't about luck, talent, or even timing. It was about courage. The courage to make one decision and stick with it.
Regardless of anything else.
This here in reality, do you mean?
And that's all it takes. One decision. One moment where you choose differently. That's the spark that starts the fire. So, if you've been wasting time stuck in the same loop, waiting for the perfect moment, this is it. This is your wake-up call.
Every time I would go to the floor was the CEO's office. So I would bust in like it's the CEO. I'm dreaming like I'm the CEO.
Up and up like that. And the president of Harvard or Stanford, if you wanted to get a mob of students, alumni, faculty to come after you, try to lynch you, what you should say is something like this. You know, we live in this much larger...
Don't let another day slip away, because you don't need to see the whole staircase. You just need to take the first step. And that one step could change everything. If there's one thing I want you to take away, it's this. You are one decision away from a completely different life.
You are your age, you can achieve anything that you set your mind to. And I always say, if you do it, anyone can do it.
Stop waiting. Start choosing. Stop wasting time. Start winning. If this story hit you, don't just nod and move on. Do something today, right now, that your future self will thank you for. And if you want more real stories, raw motivation, and practical steps to keep you moving forward, make sure you subscribe. Because this is just the beginning of your journey, and the best chapters are yet to be written.
Up and up like that. And the president of Harvard or Stanford, if you wanted to get a mob of students, alumni, faculty to come after you, try to lynch you, what you should say is something like this. You know, we live in this much larger